Yesterday, well, I don't want to say it sucked because not all of it was bad, but the first part of the day definitely was. In fact, it feels like I came very close to dying. Not literally, but it's just what happened exhausted me so much. And the fact that everything that happened did not have to happen just completely like destroyed me, and like to the point where it's like I had to take a nap, and I never nap during the day most of the time. It just ends up ruining my night and makes me tired the entire day. But it's like I was so wiped out by what happened that it's just like I could not remain awake. So let's start at the beginning and work our way forward, same as usual. So I had to wake up very early because I had an appointment at the hospital with my um, neurosurgeon. I always hesitate when I say that because my instinct is to say neurologist, but apparently they take offense to that because they're neurosurgeons, not neurologists. So anyway, every time I say it, I have to like pause for a second and be like, wait, what's the correct term again? um, So anyway, I had to get up early because I had to make sure I had enough time to, go to the bathroom and brush my teeth and, apply the testosterone cream that I have to apply every day, as well as take all my pills and medication and get breakfast ready and force myself to eat even though I'm not hungry because I'm never hungry. And then get dressed to be able to confront the winter because it's starting to get really freaking cold. Like, not that bad. Yes, sometimes during the coldest period of winter, it can drop to like, minus 20, 25. Sometimes it nears 30. So it's like, in comparison, it's still relatively warm. But yesterday was minus 14. And the thing is, like, my body's still not used to it at this point. And I'm so skinny that it's like, it's very, very, very difficult for me to get used to it. And it's just like the cold hits me way harder than it used to and tires me out so much more than it used to. So anyway, get up really early, do everything I have to do, get dressed, head out to the hospital. It's like snowing a bit, it's windy, the wind and the snow is in my face, it sucks, but make it the half kilometer to the subway station and then ride the subway station all the way to the correct station. And then I get out, and as I'm getting out, I'm like, crap, I'm feeling lightheaded. And it's like, the thing is, in my head, I'm like, I know there's a 1 kilometer walk between the subway station and the hospital, and the entire walk is uphill. It starts kind of slow and then slowly ramps up more and more and more as you get near the hospital. So it's like, even in a normal situation, middle of summer, nice weather, everything's great, I'm feeling good. Even like if I don't have cancer and I'm my old self from a couple years ago and I'm in great shape, like I'm still gonna be out of breath by the time I get to the end. So it's like I know it's gonna suck. And then I feel lightheaded, I'm just like, ah, crap. And the thing is, like, I don't have any food, I don't have access to any food. Plus, I'm running a little late. So I'm like, there's nothing for me to do except just sit down, wait it out, hope it passes, then get back up and start the journey and just see what happens. Like, maybe I'll have to take breaks, maybe I'll have to sit down and it's gonna suck because I'm not wearing snow pants. And, if I sit in the snow, well, first of all, it's cold. Second of all, I'm gonna get wet and it's gonna be even colder and it's gonna suck. But it's like, I don't have a choice. I'm stuck in this situation. There's nothing I can do about it. So let's just sit down, wait for it to pass, and then move on. So that's what I do, wait a couple minutes. And, as I'm sitting down the subway station, the thing is like middle of winter, so there's a lot of homeless people who, hide from the winter in the subway stations. So I'm like, even though I'm just, dressed like a normal person, I'm still sitting in the subway station. And it's like, it makes me feel like people are looking at me, walking me past me, and they probably wonder like, is he homeless? Like, it really doesn't matter. I don't care what people think. It's just a thought did occur to me and I found it kind of funny. But anyway, so eventually it passed. Still wasn't feeling super strong, but got back up, put my hat on, my scarf, my gloves, zipped up my jacket, and headed out into the cold. And unfortunately, not only is it a walk uphill, but the street, the way it is, it kind of like forms a wind tunnel. So it's like all the snow, all the wind is just constantly blowing in my face as I'm struggling to walk uphill. So I'm literally walking like at a snail's pace. Plus, I'm like, I don't want to push myself too much because if I do, I could get lightheaded again. I don't want to risk passing out. I don't want to force myself to like have to sit down in snow or whatever. Like, I don't want to deal with that crap. So let's just take our time, put one foot in front of the other. But it's like the more that it goes, the steeper it gets. And I just get to the point where it's like my legs are just kind of like super weak. Because unfortunately, I've been having breathing issues for the last few weeks. Haven't really been able to, go for walks or to work out in the last month almost. So at this point, my body's very weak. So it's like, combating the cold and the snow and the wind and, knowing that potentially I could get lightheaded again and there's always a risk of passing out. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, this really fucking sucks. Plus, it's like, yeah, okay, I have a scarf, but it's like as you walk, the scarf kind of starts moving down, and then your entire face starts to go numb, and your nose is like leaking because whenever it's cold, that's always what happens. And it really, really sucks. So, anyway, keep going and going and going, and I get more tired, and it sucks, but luckily, I don't feel lightheaded. Eventually, I make it to the hospital. I think it takes me a good like 20 minutes. And it's approximately 1 kilometer walk, and it took me 20 minutes. So just to kind of give you an idea of how quick I was walking. But anyway, eventually make it there, and then I have to sit down. There's like benches near the entrance, inside, of course. So I sit down there for a while, just take 5 minutes to catch my breath and kind of recover, like my face unfreeze, and then I head up to the second floor and head to the area where I'm supposed to meet my doctor. Go to the receptionist and check in. And by the way, if you've seen my previous videos, you may remember a video, or maybe two I think I made, about how the receptionist at that hospital in that area, that waiting room specifically, is just super rude and really sucks. Like the last 2 times I went, she like completely ignored me once. The other time did the same thing, did it to another person. There was someone else in the waiting room who mentioned she was also rude to them. So it's like, I did not know what to expect. Luckily, she acknowledged me as soon as I arrived. She asked me for my hospital card, told me to go sit down. And then I go to the bathroom to, blow my nose. And then I hear someone call my name. So I come back out, assuming it's her, go see her at the reception. And then she's like, you don't have an appointment today. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They gave me this appointment last time I was here. No one called me to let me know it was canceled. Are you sure that I don't have an appointment? And then she checks again. She's like, yeah, you don't have an appointment. And then goes on to make me feel like an idiot, implying that it's my fault because, well, you didn't come beforehand to get an X-ray, or sorry, CT scan of your head. So why are you here? There's nothing for you, the doctor, to talk to you about. All you'd be doing is saying hi. And I'm just like, okay, hold on. This is a medical appointment that was given to me by the doctor last time I was here. No one called to let me know it was canceled. And you're trying to make me feel like I'm the idiot for being here today? Like, do you know what the fuck I've been through to get here? I didn't do that. I'm a respectful person. Even when people are assholes, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. I just don't have the energy. Plus, like, given my past experiences with that person, I know she just really sucks at her job. And I'm just like, I don't want to get into it. So it's like, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, what's the next step? And she's like, okay, they'll call you to schedule the CT scan and then to schedule the appointment with the doctor after. So I'm like, fine, whatever. Let me just get the fuck out of here. So go back downstairs, sit down for a while, take a chance to really fully recover, because I'm like, I need to go back in the cold and walk all the way back to the subway station and head all the way back home, and I know it's gonna suck, so let me fully recover first. So I take a good 10 minutes to really relax and let my body recover. Then when I'm ready, put the hat back on, the scarf and the gloves, and zip my jacket up and head back outside. Luckily, the walk back was easier because it was downhill instead of uphill, and the wind was no longer blowing in my face, it was blowing in my back, so it wasn't that bad. But once I get on the subway and head back home and get off at my station, the walk home from the subway station to my house is around half a kilometer, and there's a relatively steep uphill to get there. And after everything I've just been through, like the physical exhaustion combined with the frustration of, hey, I did all this for nothing, plus the receptionist was super rude, it's just like that half-kilometer walk seemed to take forever. And by the time I was back, I was just like out of breath, I was coughing, I was exhausted, I was shivering, like to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to go to bed like right now. So I went in bed, obviously in a seated position to breathe better, but it's like, fully dressed, covers tucked up to my chin, and hands in my pockets, fists balled, hands balled into fists to keep the warmth in as much as I could. And even with all that, I spend the next 20, maybe 30 minutes shivering uncontrollably. That was just how intense it was. And even though it's like, okay, I know none of this was actually the receptionist's fault, but I still blame her completely. She is such a rude, incompetent person. I do not understand how she can still be employed. It is beyond me. It makes absolutely no sense. And, she is in charge of appointments and confirming everything and making sure there's no issues. So it's like, it is kind of her fault. Not all of it, but I'm still blaming her because she's just, I hate to judge people, but she's just a horrible person. Every single interaction I've ever had with her was bad. Made me walk away from those interactions feeling either like crap or frustrated or both. And I completely blame her. Even though objectively, not really that much of her fault, I still completely freaking blame her for this. And, I know like I didn't actually come close to dying literally, but it's just like it wiped me out physically so much. And on top of that, like, yeah, okay, I have to deal with the rude receptionist, and it's like all that was for nothing. So it's like, why did I just waste the last few hours of my life, wake up early, push myself to my physical limit, deal with a fucking bitch, and then come home and like shiver for half an hour under the covers before eventually just like passing out from exhaustion? Like, why did I go through that when none of it was necessary? All they had to do was just call me and be like, hey, you don't need to show up today. We'll call you once we have an official date. That's all they would have needed to do. And none of this would have happened. And it's just like, it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like, it's all part of the process. What can you do about it? There's no point in getting upset. There's no point in getting frustrated. I am, however, going to file an official complaint against that receptionist. Like last time that she was rude to me and then a couple other people that were there too that time, I told myself like, okay, you know what? I'll get home and I'll call and I'll file an official complaint. And I don't know, I ended up never doing it because there's stuff going on. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it's not worth the effort on my part. But it's just like every single time I go there, she just sucks at her job so much that I'm like, okay, it's not just for me at this point. It's for every single person who has an appointment in that department and needs to deal with that person. She's just horrible at it. So I am either today or tomorrow, depending on how things go, do the research, find the number to file a complaint, call, explain the situation, everything that happened, all the times that I was there, because I feel kind of bad saying this, but it's like, she does not deserve to work there. She should not work there. She should be fired. And I always, I'm the type of person who likes to give people second chances, but it's like, how many chances do you need before you realize you suck at your job? So either get better or get out and let someone who can actually do the job do it properly. It's really not that hard. So anyway, that was my latest interaction with this amazing receptionist. Hopefully that was more entertaining for you than it was for me to experience it, because it definitely really sucked. But I survived, and that's all that matters. So talk to you next time. Ooh, I missed the button. I missed it again. Let's see how many times I can miss it.